It took a minute for this one to connect. Hello, hello. It is 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. I'm gonna give you guys a second to sign on. Okay, is this any indication of how this chat's gonna go? I can't even talk today. Oh, mercy. I am tired and feeling a bit rough today, you guys. In all honesty, I am just feeling a bit rough. How about you? Are you guys feeling rough? Are you having a great, energetic day? It's the end of the week, and I think my body is winding down. I think it is winding down. Oh, mercy. How about you guys? Have you had a great week? Have you had a successful week? How's your Transformation Tuesday going? Who's joining in with me on that? Who's been doing that? If you've been watching over on the vlog channel, then you've seen a little bit of what I've been eating. If you're following on Instagram, then you've seen what I've been eating, because I've been trying to post pictures of breakfast / lunch. I usually don't eat breakfast like as soon as I get up. It usually is lunch, brunch by the time I eat something, and then I'll eat again at dinner. So I've been trying to post those for you guys over on Instagram, if you're following, giving you some ideas over there. And then, of course, on the vlog, sometimes you see when we go walking. This week you saw me run some stadiums. Yeah, so I'm a little worn out today. All right, let's see who we got here. Lupe is here. Hello, Lupe. And Janine is here. Hello. There is Stacy and Janie. Hello, hello. You're down to 229. All right, that's awesome. So how much does that mean that you have lost, Janie? Very good there. Let's see here. That's Kay Welch. I think that says your boys are having a birthday this weekend. Nice. Oh no, you've got a broken ankle. Well, I hope that heals up for you pretty fast. That can be miserable. There is Beth Allen and Ingrid. Hello, hello. Oh, you're having a lot of rain where you are. We've got a beautiful sunny day. Few fluffy clouds. Maybe we'll have rain in a day or two, but it is beautiful today. There is Amy. Hello, you're having a lazy day too? Me too. Oh, and you've lost 7 pounds. That is awesome. I haven't weighed again since Tuesday, and I don't plan to weigh until this coming Tuesday, so I don't know if I've lost any more or not. I kind of feel like I have. You know how you just kind of feel like you have? Your clothes feel a little different and stuff like that, so I think I maybe have. Just not real sure about it. Yeah, it can be very hard, Lupe, with a 6-month-old to try to get that exercising in there. Yes, it can, but listen, you got to look at it this way. At least you didn't gain. So staying the same is good. That is still success because you're not getting any heavier. So that's good news. There is Carmen and Lindy. Hello, you guys. Your highest was 280, and let's see, what did you tell me you were down to? 229. Wow, that is awesome. So that's 51 pounds. Well, you go. That is amazing. Very, very good. I got to looking back at some old, look how rough I'm looking today, you guys. I didn't even get my makeup on yet. Don't even think I probably will today. I doubt very seriously I even put makeup on today. A lot of days I don't, if I'm just standing around here. If you guys have watched the vlog channel, then y'all know that already, because I'm certainly not ashamed to show my face without the makeup. But I was looking back through some old Transformation Tuesday videos where we were doing this, maybe it was about 6 months ago, I guess, was the last one I posted, somewhere in there. And on that one, I was about 10 pounds less than where I am right now. And I had even gained about 6 pounds at that time. So I'm probably about 16 pounds heavier now than I was, you know, before we were doing Transformation Tuesday, and I was losing really good. So I'm hoping to get that off of there really soon, y'all. My goal is still to hit 30 by Christmas. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. All right, let's see. Oh, well, thank you very much, Ingrid. I appreciate that kind word. Thank you very much. I feel tired today, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been doing really good on Transformation Tuesday. So for you guys know, if you watched Transformation Tuesday this week, you've seen that I had a half of a cinnamon roll that baby girl made for the hub's birthday. It was his birthday. She made them homemade. Had a half of one, and that's all that I had. But then yesterday, she cooked some of these new cookies she'd never cooked before. It had, you put in a cake mix, but you altered the recipe a little bit. So it wasn't like cake cookies, but there was a cake mix in the cookies. I know it's kind of hard to describe, but they looked so good. And the kids said, okay, Mom, you've been working really hard. You've been exercising. We'll let you have one of them. So I did have one of them, but they're big. So having one of those, that was really quite a lot. So I cut it in half. It was just going to have half of it. But it was so, so good that I went ahead and ate the full thing. I did, and I'm paying for it today. I really think that's why I'm dragging, because that probably was a large dose of sugar, because it was a big cookie. I'll have to see if she's still got pictures. I think she took pictures yesterday, and if so, then I'll go in there and I'll try to post them maybe on Instagram if you guys follow me over there, and you can see what I'm talking about, because it was a big old cookie. So I did eat one of those, and I think I'm paying for it today. Along with, I also had baked potato last night, and I know a potato is still a vegetable, and it's still what we would consider somewhat healthy to eat, but white potatoes really are not good for you, and they act just like glucose in your bloodstream. They really do. They turn right into sugar, and I think the combination of those, because I didn't have anything else sugary or any of that, I think it's just a combination of the two of those have really kind of knocked me for a loop. So it's just a reminder again how bad sugar makes you feel. It's not worth it. You know, we were talking today, and I told my daughter, I said it's kind of like people who go out there and they do things that they know they're going to feel bad the next day. And it's like, why would you make that decision to do that when you know you're going to feel bad? Well, it's the same way with sugar. It's like when you know it makes you sluggish, it makes you tired, you don't have energy, you feel cranky and crabby. Why bother? You know, I mean, I know it tastes good going down, but it's really not worth it. So it's been a great reminder again today of that, because I really think that's why I'm having such a rough go at it this morning. Oh my God. Well, it's not even morning. Look at there. It's 2 o'clock. That shows you how my day's been. All right, let's see here where I left off. Yeah, I think a lot of it is in the mind. At first, it's chemical related as well. But once you get the sugars and stuff out of that body, it really does become a mental thing. It really is. There is Sheena. Hello, Sheena. Uh-oh, your internet's down. Well, that's not fun. Oh, that's very good. Yeah, 1.5 months without any kind of soda, and can you tell a difference? You could tell a huge difference. There is Miss Nessa. Hello, Nessa. How are you? I tell you, I could tell a difference. I have not had a drink with caffeine in it since 2004. That's been over 13 years now that I have not had like Coke or Pepsi or any of that has caffeine, because I was so addicted to, you guys. I would take Mountain Dew. We would buy like the, I guess they come in a 6-pack, the cans of Mountain Dew. And I would drink them all before the hubs would even come home from work. And back then, you know, you tried to use the excuse, well, I'm home all day, I'm not working, you know, that's 8 hours in a day. That's really not a lot, but that is a lot when you're consuming that kind of sugar and caffeine. And I can remember days that I would get them all, had them all consumed, and I would call him on the way home from work and say, you're going to have to stop by that store and bring me home a Mountain Dew, or I'm not going to be pleasant tonight. Not because I would punish him, but just because, you know, cranky. Because my body was so addicted to that caffeine. And so in 2004, I had my last caffeinated drink at a restaurant. We were eating spaghetti. We were eating Italian, and I had a Coke with it that day. And that was the last time that I have had a caffeinated drink. And even coming off of the caffeine was rough for that first week. I mean, it was rough because caffeine does your body just like some drugs do your body, because it really is a drug that you're putting in there. And the withdrawals were not pleasant. You know, the headaches and the extreme crankiness and fatigue and just all that goes with it. But I started feeling so much better. And it was kind of the same way last week, coming off of the sugar again. You have those withdrawals for a couple of days. You have the headaches, and then you go through where you're just feeling really sluggish and cranky, edgy, you know, because your body is screaming for that chemical, the sugar, that's a chemical. But then after about 3 days and that goes away, you feel so energized to where it's really just not worth even getting back on it. I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but we do. I guess because it tastes so good going down. All right, let's see. Do I say that Wager, the Wager Zoo or Wager? I'm not sure how to say that, but hello. Nessa, I'm glad you're doing well. And I saw that picture of that beautiful powder that you got in your Ipsy bag. That looked really pretty, girl. You have a beautiful, beautiful complexion. There is Jody from Central Michigan. Hello. You were also having 4 or 5 cans a day. Yeah, I'm glad that you're off of that and feeling so much better, because all that's, listen, do you know you can take a can of Coke, or I guess Pepsi too, but they say Coke is the best one to use, and you can pour it along the hood of your car if you live here in the South. I don't know, do you guys up north get love bugs? Tell me, because I don't even know. But down here in the South, we get love bugs 2 times a year. They usually come out around April, and then they will come out again around late September, October, and we will have all over the front of the car. You know, you're driving down the road and they're just hitting it, and they are hard to wash off. They are really, their bodies are like glue. But you can take Coca-Cola and pour it along the front of your car and let it, you know, wash down, and it will loosen those bug guts. And you can also clean your toilets with it. So think about that for a minute. Any chemical that will clean love bugs and clean your toilet probably should not be consumed, right? So I can imagine you are feeling much, much better coming off of those soft drinks, I tell you. There is Crafty Grammy from Texas. Hello, hello. Oh no. Well, Jody, I can relate, because I used to be there too. Like, I would drink very little water, hardly ever drank milk back then. It was just Mountain Dew all day, every day. So I can relate, but I'm telling you, he'd feel much better if he wouldn't do that. From personal experience. Okay, so the first pronunciation, I think I said Wagger, right? The Wagger Zoo? Yeah, okay. There is Michelle from Chicago. Hello. And let's see here. You like the Pepsi. We've done taste tests with the Pepsi and the Coke before, because you used to see those commercials back in the day. And so we have done those around here, because the hubs used to swear up and down that he would only drink Coke. Like, he did not like Pepsi. He thought it was too sweet. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me, because I never thought I could tell a difference anyway. I mean, one was just the same as the other to me, because I usually drink the flavored ones like Mellow Yellow or Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, you know, like the flavored ones. And so I thought there's really not that much difference between a Coke and a Pepsi. But we did a taste test, and he was right. Pepsi is a lot sweeter than Coke. So I guess it just depends on, like, some of the ones in my family, they prefer Pepsi because they like the sweet taste. But in our home, we prefer the Coke if you're going to have a soft drink. But like I said, I will once in a while drink a Sprite. Every once in a while, I'll drink a root beer that doesn't have caffeine. I think Mug doesn't have caffeine. And there is another brand. I'm trying to remember what it is. I don't think A&W has caffeine in their root beer. That may be the one. But that's literally like once, maybe every 6 months, if that. I've had a few more right before I started Transformation Tuesday, because Bub and his soccer buddies hang out here a lot, and we would buy like the non-caffeinated grape drinks in the can, the grape sodas. We buy them, of course, regular Coke, buy them Yoo-Hoos and different stuff like that. So I had a couple of Yoo-Hoos, and I had a couple of cans of the grape soda without the caffeine, but only drank like half of it because it is so sweet now, and it like goes right to my head, like starts to make me dizzy almost right away to have those. So I'm not a big soft drink drinker even without the caffeine in it, just 'cause this is what I learned. This is true. This is a true story. Whenever I read the book, The Maker's Diet, and I've told you guys about that on a Transformation Tuesday, one of the things that he goes into, he talks a lot in there about leaky gut, and talking about how different chemicals that we consume actually eats through the gut lining, and then the particles of food that our body is meant to digest can't digest. Instead, it like leaks right through the holes of the gut, and it goes right out into the blood and other places where it shouldn't be, and that makes people very sick. So to heal that whole gut lining, you have to stay away from those kind of chemicals for a while, allowing the body to heal itself. So he got to talking in there about the difference between sugar that is in food versus sugar that we drink. So it would be like taking, say, a Pepsi versus a Snicker bar. And if you read the ingredients, let's just say sometimes candy bars will have a lot more sugar content than if you're drinking a liquid, but your body processes it different, and the liquid literally goes straight to your bloodstream like that. And that's probably why, like, literally I can take the first drink of one of those grape sodas and already start to feel it. Like, immediately I start to feel it. Whereas if you eat a candy bar or a cookie or something along those lines, it goes through the digestive process where your stomach and intestines and all that begins to break it down. So I learned that a long time ago, that the drinks are actually much, much worse than if you eat something with a high sugar content. So we started being real careful of that. Even when the kids were a lot smaller, when I learned that fact, we stopped letting them have many soft drinks at all because of that. And we would notice with Bub right away, like whenever he would consume sugar whenever he was little, like immediately within 5 or 10 minutes, he was a lot more hyper and just on the go. And he's already a big mover anyway. Bub has a lot of energy and he's always busy and always doing something. But when he would get that sugar in him, like, we could tell right away. We could tell right away. As a matter of fact, some of the studies that they've done on things such as ADHD and those kind of issues with kids, they had taken 100 kids who were failing in school, who were having a hard time paying attention, and who were hyperactive and wouldn't sit still in class. And they did an experiment. I think it was a 6-month experiment, if I remember correctly. And they took them off of all sugar, just fed them healthy foods throughout the day. Of course, they got the sugar in the fruit. Whenever I say sugar, I'm talking about the unnatural added sugars. They took them off of all the sugar for that 6-month period. And do you know that I think it was like 80% of those students brought their F grades up to A grades? They were sitting still in school paying attention. And the proof of that study was a lot of time kids are diagnosed with ADHD that really don't have that kind of problem at all. It simply is because their bodies are reacting to the amount of sugar they eat. Cereals, waffles, pancakes. You know, we'll ask our kids sometimes in children's church on Sundays. Some days they come in and they are so wired, like you can't even keep them in their seat. And we'll ask them, okay, who's had a really sugary breakfast this morning? And just about every hand will go up in the room. And you can tell, you can just tell that whenever all of that sugar consumption goes in the body, it just really wreaks havoc. It really does. And so some of the issues that parents are having with their kids really is not ADHD or hyperactive disorder at all. It really is that sugar. So it's really a chemical we should not be eating, but it tastes so good, it's hard not to. Let's just be honest. Oh, okay, let's see here. Where did I leave off? I'm sorry, I get to rambling and then I miss some of your questions. Let's see. Oh, you did, Nessa. Are you liking that app? I love mine. I like being able to fill that little girl up every day with water and watch her. Yeah, Barks, that's another one that doesn't have caffeine. You're right about that, and I do enjoy that one. Yeah, it does sound pretty gross, doesn't it? All right, let's see here what Jody said. Oh my goodness. Wow, I hate to hear that your husband went through all that. My goodness, I hope he's doing much better now. That is a pretty major surgery there. Yeah, Janie, you may want to do like a Google search about leaky gut and see about some more information that you can read on, because it is very interesting to read all of that. I was shocked. I had never heard of it either until I read that book. And then whenever I read that book and he laid out all the information about that leaky gut, and it explains things like psoriasis or other skin conditions. It can explain things like arthritis, and a thing where people think they have rheumatoid arthritis sometimes is simply a result of that leaky gut, leaking too much into the blood all at one time. I mean, it was really very interesting to read. And when I first read that book, this was back in 2007, you guys, and I had lost a lot of weight. I got down to about 148, which, to put that in perspective, some of you guys that have seen, if you're on the Facebook, some of you guys have seen whenever I post around our anniversary, like our wedding picture versus a now picture for our anniversary. And in that wedding picture, I was 142. I thought I was so heavy because I had gained 5 pounds from the time I got fitted for the original fitting for my dress till the day that I got married. I had gained 5 pounds. And you know how you are when you're young, just think that's huge. But I had gotten down to about 148 back in 2007. So pretty close to what I was when I got married. Very small. And it just simply was because, I mean, I was eating a lot of food every day, but I was eating the right foods. And when you eat the right foods, your body just naturally, like, it just conforms to that. You know, your body's going to do what your body will do with healthy food. And because it just really scared me whenever I read all about the leaky gut and the chemicals that we put in there, and about the necessity of taking care of our bodies by what we're eating. But then you know how that goes. I did that for about 9 months and kept my weight off, felt so good. Oh man, I had more energy then than I had had in a long time. It was really feeling good. But then I took one bite of a cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory. That is all it took to spiral me back out of control again, you know? And so this time around, I just don't want to do that. It's like, I know that it's not good for me, and why I make those choices, I just, you know, you just don't understand it. When you're eating emotionally, or the other reasons that drive us to eat improperly, it's kind of like any other addiction that people have that's not healthy, whether it's drugs or alcohol or sexual addictions or all these things that people are driven to that's not healthy for them, but they almost feel they have no choice, if you know what I mean. And that's the way it has been with me in food. So I'm really determined this time around that I want it to be different, and I want to think long term for the future of just being healthy and taking care of myself. So let's see here where I left off. Can you have a mug of sugar-free cocoa? Yeah, cocoa and cookies was always supposed to be live. Stacy, those were always supposed to be live, but back then I couldn't figure out how to get the live to work. So the idea with those cocoa and cookies was for me to sit down with you guys and have a cup of cocoa, some cookies, and just chat like girlfriends. I never could figure out how to get it live though. So now that I've got it live, this has replaced that. This is like what the original cocoa and cookies was supposed to be all along. Just to be able to sit down and chat with you guys like you were at my house, you know, just sitting around the dining room table chatting. So I don't know that you guys will ever like see a recorded cocoa and cookies again. Once in a while, I probably will record if there's something on my heart that I want to talk to you guys about, you know, maybe I'll do that again. But all along, cocoa and cookies was supposed to have been a live chat with you guys. So, but back to answering your question, when the weather gets a lot colder here, I will have a cup of hot cocoa every once in a while. Because I don't think that it has to be one of those things that you can never have sugar, or never have a piece of cake, or never have anything sweet at all. I think just like with everything else, it has to be in moderation. And it should be something that we avoid for the majority of the time, but I don't think there would be anything wrong with doing it occasionally, as long as it doesn't take a hold of us again. For me, that's what it did. It was like, okay, I think I can have this one cheesecake, and the first bite just reeled me right back in. It was so good that I didn't have the willpower to say no. So yeah, I will be having hot cocoa. It's my favorite drink in the cool weather. So I do plan to not give that up totally. Just probably won't have as many as I used to, that's for sure. All right, let's see here where we left off. Oh, well, that's good, Janine. See, you can control it, and that's good. You make that glass last you all day instead of being out of control like I was. That is very good. There is it Dara or Dara? Tell me how to say that. I always look at it and I think Dara, but I'm from the South, so I may say that wrong. she's from Northwest Georgia too. Well, then maybe you say it Dara, being down here in the South. Yeah, it does make you swell because of all the sodium in those canned drinks. Yeah, I find the same thing whenever I used to drink those. I would swell in my fingers and my feet and ankles. Oh, okay, Janie, just try it. I mean, just try it for a little while and see if his symptoms improve. Now, it may take a little while, you know, to get all the sugar out of there and for him to get on a good, healthy diet for a little bit. So if you don't notice a change immediately, don't give up on it. Remember, because our bodies have to have time to detox all that stuff out. But it would be worth trying, that's for sure. Instead of them having to take those medications for ADHD, if it's possible that he can get better by just being off sugar in the long run, that would be so much better for him. Good, Jody. I'm so glad to hear that. Oh, well, that's good, Nessa. That's true. Like for me too, it's like you like playing with the app so much that it's easier to get the water in. Yeah, that's for sure. I've been doing good on my water too. Been doing a lot better. And that's another thing that just make you feel healthier is getting that water in, because water has a lot of oxygen in it, of course. And so it's pumping that oxygen through and you just feel more energized. Second of all, you got to think about it. Our bodies are 75% water. That's right. All of our muscles, our blood, cells, all that kind of stuff, 75% water. So if we're not drinking enough water, we're going to be sluggish. We're going to be tired. It's going to tell in our skin. It's a lot of people that look a lot older than they really are and their skin just looks so rough. A lot of it is because of constant habitual dehydration. So you're going to feel so much better getting that water in there. I can guarantee you that. All right, let's see here. Yep, I agree with that, the Waggerzoo. It is all that sodium. People who cut out their soft drinks, even just changing that part of the diet, you'll drop a lot of weight really fast because of all the sodium, and it makes you hold all that water. Even when you're drinking it with the caffeine in it, because caffeine is a natural diuretic, but those can also be flipped in the body because it causes your body it acts as a diuretic. Your body will think it's losing too much and actually cause you to hold on to water. Like, I know that doesn't even seem to make sense, but that's true. Like, you think that the more water you drink, the more you would retain, but the more water you drink, the more you flush it out. So it's just, it kind of, learning all that stuff just changes the way you think about all that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, those were tidbits of information I didn't ever know before. Yeah, Nessa, I eat out of boredom too. If I'm busy, if I have a really busy schedule and a really busy day, I hardly ever think about food, especially if I'm outside working, because I don't like to eat when I'm hot. I do not like to eat when I'm hot. I want a cold bowl of like strawberries out of the refrigerator or grapes or something like that, something really cool to eat. So I don't like to eat if I'm hot. And if I'm extremely busy, I won't even think about food. Like, I can go till 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon and then think, wow, I'm starting to feel a little hungry. I haven't eaten all day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think boredom is a big cause of people who eat too much. We just kind of turn to food there for a little comfort and something to do. So it's good to develop some kind of hobby to turn to that keeps our minds busy and active besides the food, you know? So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, so see there, you've learned to be able to hold it in moderation, and that is great. That is where we all should strive to be, is being able to do it in moderation. You know, when it comes to Thanksgiving, if you want a piece of pumpkin pie, have a piece of pumpkin pie, and just don't go back in there later for seconds and thirds. Nothing wrong with having it. Just being able to have a moderate amount of it. And that's the goal. That's my goal. That's where I want to be, is to where the food doesn't control me. The sugar doesn't control me. But here's the funny thing. Sugar is a chemical. And so it's just like for some people who get hooked on pain medication or other kind of drugs that they may put in their body, and they get hooked on that because the body craves the chemical. It's the same way with sugar. So it's one of those areas to where you have to know your own body. if your body is the type that responds to sugar more like the chemical, where you're going to be driven to be addicted to that, like your body is just craving that chemical, then you are going to be the kind of person that's going to be best for you probably to never have it, except for what you get in fruit, you know, like natural sugars that come in fruit. For other people that their body isn't necessarily drawn to that type of chemical attraction, then you can probably have it in moderation and it's not going to affect you. So it's all about learning your body, watching what your body signals you. And if we can learn to do that, like today, whenever I got up and I was feeling so sluggish and it was like, oh, I just don't want to get going with the day. This is the first day that I have felt like this in the whole week and a half that I've been going again. And I know that I can relate it to that sugar that I had yesterday, combined with that white potato, because white potato turns to glucose in the blood. Your body cannot differentiate the different kinds of sugars. You know, that's a misconception. Like people think, oh, well, you can have stevia or you can have agave or you can have the honey, the natural stuff. And you can if you're trying to be healthy. But if your goal is to get away from the sugar addiction, then you're going to even be sensitive to that, because when you eat that, your body doesn't know, oh, okay, this is okay, they've had agave. No, your body just knows it is a sugar. So that's where you have to be careful. If you're eating a lot of fruit, like if you're drawn more towards the bananas and the grapes and all those really good sweet fruits, then you know that your body is still craving a lot of sugar. So you even have to be careful with that. Even though bananas are good for you, eating too many of them is going to keep the blood sugar very high. They're very high on the glucose index. So it's the same way with the white potato. The better choice is to have a sweet potato. And even that has to be done in moderation, because those are very high in sugar as well. But your body doesn't say, oh, well, that was a white potato she had, so that's cool. We don't process it the same as we did that cookie she had after dinner. You follow what I'm saying? So I know for me, the combination of that cookie mixed in with those white potatoes, yeah, that was just too much sugar for my body yesterday. So if we can learn to read the signals that our bodies are giving off, then we're going to know much better what we need to stay away from, even if it means never having it again. You know, like life would not end for me if I never had another baked potato. I may feel like it at first, but it really wouldn't. So it's like, if it's going to make me feel that bad, then is it worth eating? Like, those are the hard questions we have to ask. If having a bowl of ice cream does nothing to you, then have it in moderation. But if you are lactose intolerant and you eat a bowl of ice cream and it sends you straight running for the bathroom, then is it really worth having? You would say no. You would avoid the ice cream. And so it has to be that way with sugar, I believe. You know, just learn your body. It'll tell you. It'll tell you what's okay for you to have and what's not, and go from there, and just treat your body with respect. And that's what I have not done. You know, like, I have not valued enough my body to listen to it and to treat it optimally. So that's my whole goal this time around with Transformation Tuesday. And hopefully those of you that have joined in, hopefully that's your goal too. Losing weight is going to be a natural byproduct of that. The goal is really to just get healthy and to do what's right for our bodies, and take the weight loss as icing on the cake, so to speak. I'm going to have to figure out what's a healthy analogy there. If we can't say icing on the cake because it's sugar, what could we say? Maybe honey on the, what would you eat honey on that's really good, that's healthy? I don't even know. Somebody type it. Tell me, what can we say? Instead of icing on the cake, it's like honey on the whatever. I don't know. Help me out there. Oh my word. Let's see here where I left off. Oh wow, Jody, you've lost over 200 pounds? That is incredible. That is amazing. When I got on the scale for Transformation Tuesday for you guys and realized that I need to lose about 101 pounds to get to where I would feel comfortable being, I could not even believe that I even said that number. That was such a high number to me, and I thought, whoa, that's a lot of extra pounds to, I mean, just think about that. That would be like somebody taking 10 10-pound bags of potatoes and just strapping them to my body if I was a normal size, and me walking around with 100 extra pounds just taped to me. Think about it. Like, that's what we do to our knees, to our ankles, to our heart every day when we're carrying around all this extra weight. And no wonder we get cranky, and no wonder we don't sleep good. And you know, it's like no wonder we have all these different health issues going on, because we're making our bodies have to work way too hard. So thinking about it like that is really starting to help me retrain my mind and how I'm thinking about food again, and being accountable to all of you guys and us doing it together, knowing you're not in it alone, you know, because if you feel like you're the only one in the world not having a chocolate cake today, that's depressing. But if you know that there's a lot of other people doing it with you, then it really is a lot easier. It really is. Okay, so Dara, that's how we say it. All right, well, that's how I was saying it, so. Okay, so Michelle is a picker. So now, do you find that that works better for you, just nibbling a little bit kind of throughout the day, or do you feel like that you end up eating more than you might normally would? Because that probably could go either way. That could probably help you, because they say the ideal thing is to have 6 small meals a day, like just evenly spaced throughout the day. And by small, I mean like 100 to 200 calories, just small throughout the day, little bits. But for me, I find that if I nibble and just say I go through the kitchen and maybe pick 3 grapes and eat them, I don't write it down, and I'm not aware of the calories. So then if I sit down to eat a meal and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this meal is only like 300 calories, but then I forget, okay, I went and grabbed those 3 grapes like 5 times today walking through the kitchen, I lose track of how many calories I'm actually eating. So tell us, how does that work for you? Do you find it works better or worse? There is Kathy. Hello, Kathy. I'm doing very well. How about you? Nice to have you with us. Dr. Berg, I never heard of him, Jennifer. I will have to look him up. I tell you, another good one is Dr. Colbert. I don't know how many of you know him. He is really good. He's written a lot of books about depression, anxiety, blood sugar issues, diabetes, hypoglycemia, a lot of different ones that he has. They're like little mini books that you can get in a whole series. And he talks a lot about different things and how different chemicals affect your body. So he's another one that I love to watch him, and I love to hear him speak. Oh, well, thank you, Nessa. I like to hear all you guys' advice too. Yeah, that is a whole person when you think about it, Jody. Yeah. Strawberries on yogurt. Okay, that's a good analogy, because I love strawberries, and I do love a good Greek just plain yogurt, and the two go very well together. Okay, so like strawberries on yogurt instead of icing on the cake. You know what? I have not ever tried the frozen grapes because I always forget to throw some in the freezer, but I've heard people say that before, Jody, so I need to do that when next summer rolls around. Keep some of those frozen grapes in there. Now, I do keep frozen bananas in the refrigerator for smoothies, for a like the foundation of a good smoothie instead of using milk and that kind of stuff. I do like to keep those in there, and they say that if you will freeze them right as the skins are starting to turn brown, like that's the best time to freeze the bananas to reuse them later, whether you're doing them in an ice cream or a smoothie. So I'm gonna have to try the grapes. Okay, so Michelle, you think that that's working better for you? Yeah, and it probably is, because it keeps your body at that, your blood sugar level all day long. That's the whole point behind the 6 small meals a day, would be to keep your blood sugar level, you know, because we eat a big breakfast and then our blood sugar will drop in 3 or 4 hours, and then we want to go eat a huge lunch, but then our blood sugar is going to drop again, and it's when those blood sugars drop that we tend to have more cravings. So if we can keep that blood sugar just level all day long by just snacking, matter of fact, if you have hypoglycemia, they tell you to snack every 2 hours on things like a boiled egg, raw almonds, any other kind of nut or seed that you can keep on hand, a little cube of cheese, just something to keep it level all day will help to curb those cravings, keep your sugar more balanced, and you won't have those highs and lows of dropping in the afternoon, getting so tired and lazy that you just need a nap. You'll stay pretty even all day. And I have to say, whenever I was doing it that way, I would keep those little packages of high protein snacks around. You don't want carbohydrates. And remember, on one of our Transformation Tuesdays, we did a whole show dedicated to not eating carbs naked. And that doesn't mean without your clothes. That means don't eat, if you're going to eat an apple, maybe dip it in some almond butter. Or if you're going to have celery, maybe dip it in some type of dipping sauce that has some good fat in there. On your salads, put on a good olive oil dressing that's got that good healthy fat in there, because you don't want to just eat carbs. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Like if you sit down to eat a banana, don't eat that banana alone. Eat it with a little piece of cheese or something else that's going to have a good healthy fat or a bit of protein in there, because carbohydrates are processed by your body so quickly that your body absorbs it right up, and then you still feel hungry and unsatisfied. So try it. Just try it. If I sit down to want to slice up an apple and put like a quarter of a cup of almonds on there, just raw almonds, and I eat the almonds with my apple, I am full for a long time, because my body now is breaking down the proteins, the fat, and the carbs, and it's a slower process, which keeps you full longer and it keeps your blood sugar more level. So if you didn't watch that one, if you go to the homepage of my channel, and you'll see a little magnifying glass, like you'll have, I think it says home, about, videos, you know, whatever it says across the top, there's a little magnifying glass, and you can click on that and type in a keyword. And if you type in eating carbs naked or something like that, it should probably hit up that video for you. If not, just go to the Transformation Tuesday playlist and watch along, because I don't think I have that in the title. I don't remember what I titled that one, but you'll find it if you just kind of search around on the channel. If you didn't know that, that's a great way to search the channel, even for those of you who like the worth the bucks, because I don't put the product in the title, because then people won't watch it. They think they have formed an opinion already, and sometimes watching us test out a product will give you a different idea than what you thought. But all you have to do is go that little magnifying glass and type in a keyword, and it'll pull you up to that video. So just in case you didn't know, that's how it works on YouTube. All right, let's see here where we left off. Yeah, Amy, that is so true. Clean eating, you just feel so much better. You don't have all that sludge going in your body holding you down. There is Linda. Hello, Linda. How are you? Stress is a big one. And stress, the hormones that are released just with stress in general, then combined with the sugars, it's a deadly combination for sure. And a lot of us, for me, I'm a stress eater. So I already have the chemicals going on in my body naturally with the stress itself. Then I add in the food on top of that, and it's just not a good combination. It's never good to eat when you're stressed. It's not. So yeah, I'll have to look him up, Dr. Berg. There is Jessinia. Hello, Jessinia. How are you? Doing well on my end. Bye, Nessa. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us, girlfriend. Beth Ann, or Amy, you have to lose 112 pounds. I have 101. Well, I lost 4 of those. So what does that make now? 97? Still 97 pounds to go. And that sounds like a large number. So for those of you that maybe have a lot to lose, don't focus on that big number. Like for me, I've set my goal of that 30 pounds by Christmas, and I'm not focused on the whole 97 that I need to lose. I'm focused on that 30. And then once I get to that 30, then I will reevaluate and set a new goal at that point. Because for me anyway, and I think it's true for most people that we counsel with, when you have what feels like an insurmountable goal, you don't have motivation to tackle it. But when you have a smaller goal, you feel motivated to do something about it because it feels attainable. And then when you hit that and you have the elation of reaching a goal, it gives you that boost you need to get on to the next goal. So while you can have a large goal as an overview of where you want to go, make sure you're setting smaller goals in the meantime, because every time you hit one of those smaller goals, you're just gonna have a boost, that thing that you need that makes you feel accomplished. It makes you feel proud that you were able to do something and that you were able to hit that goal, and it will motivate you to move forward. So look at it that way. Don't focus on the overall amount. Focus on those smaller goals. And a lot of you set them with me. When we did Transformation Tuesday last week, several of you commented to tell me what your goal was by Christmas. So that leaves us now, we're almost at the end of October. So that leaves us, what is it, maybe 6 weeks till Christmas? About 6 weeks, somewhere in there. So we all have 6 weeks to continue working towards our goal for Christmas. And that's what we're going to stay focused on, not the long term. So let's hit these smaller goals together, and we're going to feel pretty achieved on Christmas morning, and hopefully feel a lot better about where we are. Okay, bye, Dara. It was so good to have you join us. Have a great weekend. Yeah, Kara, it kind of is weight loss is what it evolved into. We're talking more about Transformation Tuesday and about the healthy kind of foods, avoiding sugar and all that. So that's kind of where the conversation has led us this Friday. It can, Michelle, but be careful with the other ingredients that they use in the pretzels, because a lot of pretzels will use white flour, which is one that you need to avoid. That's another one that really your body treats as a glucose. Those are very high on the glucose index. But if you are going to eat a normal portion of the pretzel, you know, measure it out, get you a food scale if you don't have one, or measure it out by measuring cups, get you a healthy normal portion of the pretzel, and then use it with something like a raw almond butter or even a peanut butter, but try to stay away from the peanut butters that have lots of added sugar. Smucker's is one that has an all-natural peanut butter that's just peanuts and salt, I believe, and you can purchase that at places like Walmart or your local grocer. Sometimes the raw almond butter is hard to find. Not a lot of grocers carry that because it's more of a, what's the word that I want to use here? It's not an exotic food. It's just one of those foods that's a little harder to come by if you're getting the raw almond butter. You may have to go to a health food store. Trader Joe's probably has a raw almond butter. Places like Mother Earth has a raw almond butter. You can get them around. And sometimes if you're here in the South, once in a while Publix will actually stock a raw almond butter. And sometimes Publix too, if you request a certain product, Publix is really good about bringing it to their store. If they have some request for a specific product, Publix will generally try to get that product in for you. If not, then I'm sure you can probably go on the grocery side of Amazon and you can probably order it that way as well. But I have to warn you, raw almond butter is definitely more expensive, but it's a whole lot more healthy. And it tastes so good to me. Once I started eating that raw almond butter, I didn't want peanut butter anymore because it's a little bit sweeter of a nut anyway. If you like almonds, you know that. And it's just better. It's creamier. It's just, to put it on a piece of Ezekiel bread, if you like toast and you want to eat the bread, look for Ezekiel bread. You can get that at most health food stores as well. That is one that Publix does carry it. And once in a while, I'll even see it stocked in Walmart, and it's Ezekiel. I think the manufacturer is Foods for Life, so you can look them up online as well, order it that way. But the Ezekiel bread, they have Ezekiel cinnamon raisin bread, all natural grains. It's not a processed food, and it is very healthy for you, very delicious. And with raw almond butter, girl, yes. So that is a good healthy option for you guys as well. It's a good way to get in your sprouts and your whole grains. It's a delicious way to try to get those in, the good carbs. But remember, always combine that with a fat or protein for sure. All right, let's see here where we left off. All right, Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, good for your mom. I'm glad to hear that she's having some success with her weight loss. Yes, that is true, Andrea. I find that too, because some people, my daughter and I were actually just talking about this the other night. Some people are just naturally heavier people. I don't know what it is, the gravitational pull. Like, I can look at some girls, and if they tell me they're like 140 pounds, but they look like they should only weigh 100, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. But it's just some people are heavier. So you do that. That's for me. That's why I do my measurements every week too. And I forgot to tell you guys on Transformation Tuesday this week, I lost a whole inch around my waist that first week. So I was excited about that, because sometimes the scale's not moving, but you are losing inches. So you're getting smaller. Sometimes it's because we're replacing fat with muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So as you get more fit, and as you get those muscles toned and get those muscles acting the way they're supposed to, it's going to replace the fat, burn away the fat, but it's going to weigh more. Muscle is more dense than fat. So yeah, I agree. Don't focus as much on the scale as on how your body is getting smaller, because there's been times before whenever I knew for sure, I thought, oh man, I'm gonna get on the scale, and probably lost about 5 pounds because my pants would be so much looser, and then get on the scale and it didn't move. but I was getting smaller. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Definitely pay attention to the inches that you're losing, that's for sure. Well, you're welcome, Michelle. Hopefully Trader Joe's will have it. If not, then I know there are places online where you can try to order it if you don't have another. We just had a new health food store open up. It's probably about 45 miles from our house, not extremely close to where we are, but close enough that I can make a day trip over there. But I can't remember the name of it, or else I would tell you guys the name, because they have everything you could dream of. But it is set up like a legit, like a lot of health food stores, you go in there and they're just health food stores. But this one is set up kind of like Trader Joe's. I mean, it's set up like a true grocery store. You would think you were going into like Winn-Dixie or Publix or something like that. They even have the little snack cafe deli where they're cooking healthy, nutritious things for you. A lot of vegan choices in there. They have the seafood department in the back where they've got their fresh seafood that's coming in, the healthier options for that, of course. And then they also have the meat department where they're cutting fresh meat with like free range chickens and stuff like that. So you feel like you're in a real grocery store, not necessarily that health food store. But I can't remember the name of it to tell you, because it's brand new and we've only been there twice, but love that place. All of their fruit and vegetables up front, all organically grown, and just that's the type of place where we really should be shopping at when the budget, you know, allows, because it's a lot more expensive too. I mean, it really is. But when you think about it in perspective, you may be spending more at the grocery store, but you're going to be spending less overall at doctors, on medications, and as our body's breaking down and we're spending a lot of money trying to feel good or feel healthy again, it kind of evens itself out. You can either take care of it on the front end with preventative eating, or you're going to pay for it later by health issues that are creeping up because of what you're putting in your body. So, you know, kind of have to look at it that way. All right, let's see here where I left off. Yes, it is, Michelle. I just said that, and now I just saw your comment. Your health is definitely worth the extra cost, for sure. Well, you know what, Kathy? This is what I say to that. First of all, nobody else can make the decision for your body for you. That has to be a very personal choice. And you know, other people may look at you and think that you're losing too much or that you're getting too skinny, and they may be concerned about you because they just feel like you look too skinny, but they don't necessarily know the health that's happening on the inside, okay? Second of all, you're going to know by how you feel. And if you are eating healthy foods and you're not starving yourself, but you're eating healthy foods, making good choices, and you're eating the right amount of calories every day, about 1,800 calories is about the average of maintaining a healthy diet, around 1,800 calories. Now, people cut it lower than that if they're wanting to lose. The average diet for losing weight is around 1,200 calories, but once you hit your goal, you don't want to keep it at 1,200. You want to bump it back up to around that 1,800, 15 to 1,800 for the average woman. So if you're getting in your 15 to 1800 calories a day, because that's really about what the body needs to be healthy, and do some research, okay? Don't take all my information on that, because I am no doctor or nutritionist. This is just what I've read and studied up on. So study for yourself to make sure you're doing what's right for you. But if you're getting those calories in and you're doing it by eating the healthy foods, your body is going to put itself where it wants to be. And other people may look at you and think, man, you are way too skinny. And some people may look at you and say, you still have about 10 pounds to go. That's because their image of what healthy is may be something that looks like a rail, you know? And for them, somebody that is really truly healthy, that has just a little bit of meat on their bone, may appear overweight to them because of what we've been taught to believe is healthy, or that looks good, or that's acceptable in our culture. So never go by what somebody else is telling you that your body should look like. Instead, approach it from a purely health standpoint. Find the right amount of calories that your body needs to function properly. Don't deprive yourself. And then fill those calories with good, healthy, balanced food. And if you do that, your body's going to get where it needs to be. And it may look too skinny to some. It may look too heavy to others. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're healthy. So you just have to try to keep that in mind, because I know everybody's going to have an opinion on your body. Everybody's going to have an opinion on what they think you should look like. And you know, it's okay that people have their opinion, but just because people have opinions doesn't mean we have to govern our lives by them. And that's a good life lesson for us. We don't have to worry about living by people's opinions. We take them, we weigh them, we find out, is there value in this opinion for me? Is it something that I can maybe apply to my life? And if not, we don't have to feel guilty to let the opinion lie. You know what I mean? So hopefully that'll help you. That's across the board in every area of life. That is just across the board, not just concerning our weight. All right, so let's see. My thoughts on sourdough bread. I try to stay away from sourdough bread because it is a sweeter bread and it has yeast in it, and yeast is awful. Matter of fact, yeast and sugar work hand in hand, and some of the symptoms that people have in their body are because of yeast overgrowth. Yes, that's a good one to look up, to do some Google researches on. Dr. Colbert has a whole study on yeast and what it does to the body, and he and Dr. Rubin both recommend not eating yeast, period. Don't eat it. But yeast is in a lot of things. Yeast is found in some barbecue sauces. It's found in some ketchups, believe it or not. Reading labels is so important for us, because there's hidden sugars and hidden other things that really just aren't good for us. But I try, now that I'm back on Transformation Tuesday really good, I'm trying to stay away from the stuff with yeast, except in small amounts. So if you want a piece of sourdough bread, maybe allow yourself to have it one day out of the week instead of having it every morning with an egg omelet or something like that. Just have it one day out of the week as a little treat for yourself, something that's in balance, but something you're not making a habit. That's what I would suggest on the sourdough. All right, let's see here. Okay, I think that's where I left off. Let's see if this is where I'm catching back up. The keto way of eating to lose weight. The keto diet is actually a very good diet, but out of balance, it can be a little dangerous. The one that I'm doing right now with the Maker's Diet is kind of a keto type thing. Keto focuses very much on high protein, very low carb for losing weight, and you're going to lose weight very, very fast that way, because if you withhold the carbs from your body and you're eating mostly proteins, protein processes immediately. Your body does not store protein. That's why you have to have doses of protein all day long. You should be having a little bit of protein every time you eat, because the body does not store protein. Muscles require protein. Okay, they require it. Even if you're not bodybuilding, just to keep a nice tone on your muscles, you have to have protein. And since your body is not holding it, you have to keep consuming it. So if you're eating a protein food and your muscles are taking that in the way they need to take it, then the calories that you need for other functions of your body are coming from your stored fat. That's why keto works, okay? And it is a very, very successful way to lose weight. But here's the dangerous side of that. If you focus so much on such a high level of protein, then if you're eating it throughout the day and you're keeping that protein high and consistent, your kidneys are going to have a little bit harder time processing all of that protein at once, because your kidneys do require a little bit of carbohydrate type calories, the carbohydrates in the system, to function properly. So it can cause things like kidney stones and kidney malfunctions if you're not getting some healthy carbs. So keto is very, very good. This diet that I'm on is a pretty kind of a keto type thing, but you just don't get out of balance, and make sure that you're still getting like some green leafy vegetables in there. If you're trying to stay away from all sugar for a while in your fruit as well, and carrots and things like that, then make sure you're getting like broccolis, that you're getting like kale type lettuce in some salads with some olive oil drizzled over there. Brussels sprouts are a good one. Cabbage is another good one. Make sure that you're getting some good carbohydrates in there to keep your kidneys functioning well, because you don't want to develop issues with kidney stones and that kind of stuff. But yeah, keto is a very effective way to lose weight because it requires your body to pull its energy from stored resources of fat. So it's very successful. You just have to be careful with it. All right, let's see. You lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks. That's good. Yes, green tea is very good for revving up the metabolism, and water absolutely helps. Water is a natural detoxifier. I mean, lemon. Lemon is a natural detoxifier, so I like to keep it in my water as well. I do. Yeah, gluten-free pretzels would definitely be a much healthier option. Yeah, I agree with you, Stacy. Some days it's easy and you're like on top of the world, and then some days it's a lot harder. That's for sure. Yeah, walking is a good one. I've been trying to get a lot more walking in. Oh, well, thank you for the kind words, Stacy. No, it's not called Sprouts. It's called, I can't remember the name, but I do know it's not Sprouts. I am familiar with that one. Let's see here. Hello, Samira. How are you? And welcome. Whole Foods is a good one. That is a good one of where to go also for some of those really good organically grown, less processed type foods for sure. Yeah, and it is a little expensive, but like you said, it is definitely worth it in the long run. All right, so Amy is on 1,800 calories a day. That's what I thought. Between 1,500 to 1,800 calories is a good calorie average for women. Now, men can take a little bit more. Men can have up to 2,200 calories a day if they're just trying to maintain health. If they're trying to bulk up with muscles and that kind of stuff, obviously they're going to need more. But that's the average healthy diet. So if you're staying around that 1,500 to 1,800 calories and you're getting the good calories, not all calories are equal. So if you're getting the good calories and you're balancing your carbs, proteins, and healthy fats every day, you're going to be healthy, and your body's going to do what it naturally wants to do. It's going to get you to your perfect size for you. Oh, well, thank you so much. That is I for True Beauty. Thank you very much. I hope that we can help inspire each other, because it seems to be a battle for a lot of us. Let's just be honest. It really is. So Kathy is 4'11", and so that probably is a little more challenging as far as whenever you put on a little bit of weight. For shorter people, that does show more. Like I'm right around 5'5.5", somewhere in there, and if I put on a little bit, that shows a lot more than my friend who's 5'9". You know what I mean? So yeah, that'll have an effect on it too. Okay, so Janine is on dialysis. Yeah, so you have to be very careful with your diet. Some people do say to avoid animal protein. I think that the health experts are kind of 50-50 on that. A lot of people say don't, and a lot of people say do. I think, again, you have to listen to your body, and you have to listen to how your body is responding. So if you eat, you know, a glass of, or if you drink, you can't eat a glass of milk, but if you drink some goat milk, let's just say, because goat milk is much healthier for you than cow milk, and obviously you need to get it as raw as possible, because picking up homogenized milk in the store, it is full of all kind of growth hormones, antibiotics, and all that they give the animals. So you want to go as natural as possible when you're consuming your cheeses and that kind of stuff. So listen to your body. If you're consuming an animal protein and you feel it affecting your joints with an arthritis type flare up, then you're going to know for you that's not going to be the healthiest choice for you. But then there are other people, like for me, my body does not function as well if I leave off all animal protein. So I have to be careful with that, like the eggs or the milk or the cheeses that come in with that. Then for me, my body does need it. So again, I think it's all about learning the signals that your body's putting off to help you to understand which is going to be the best food for you. So that's always important, to take a look at how your body is responding to everything. All right, let's get rid of that one. Hey, Malia, how are you? Oh, well, Vicky, it is my pleasure, and thank you for the kind words. Yes, definitely avoid drinking. Alcohol, sugars will add pounds on you faster than anything. Not to mention the way that those chemicals affect you in other ways. But if you're trying to lose some weight, you definitely want to avoid that. My pleasure, Kara. You know, Google that too and just verify some of what I'm telling you, just to be sure, so that you're making the best well-rounded decision and choice for you. For sure, because it's a great way to lose weight. You just want to make sure that everything you're doing helpful. Let's see, let me try to get this on here. Maybe that'll take care of that. We'll see. All right, trying to put some of these on here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, dairy can definitely affect you in a lot of different ways, because it's all the different things that they're putting in it nowadays. The growth hormones, the antibiotics, and all that can definitely have an adverse reaction. And some people are very, very sensitive to lactose, which is the sugar that comes in dairy. It's still a sugar, the sugar part of it, and that's why people have reactions to it. So definitely be careful with that. And if you want the dairy stuff, eat like goat cheeses. Feta cheese is really good if it's a goat-based cheese, and the goat milks. But again, try to go as raw and organic as possible, because that's going to be much better for you than all the processed stuff that you're getting right out of the grocery stores. So anyway, I caught it, Janine, but I caught it a little because I was talking so much. I've got those removed and blocked on there. So anyway, you know, it takes all kinds on the internet, doesn't it, my friends? All right, but listen, we have gone over an hour. We're already at 67 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut off of here. We're actually on our way out to go for a nice walk on this beautiful day. Bubs is going up for some soccer practice, and me and baby girl are going to go walking to get our exercise in. So I'm going to hop on off of here. Should have a vlog for you up tonight. Haven't been real consistent with every single day, because not every day has enough going on. But we should have another one for you tonight. So be watching over there on the vlog channel. And if not, then I will see you soon in the very next video. I want to thank all of you so very much for joining in with me today, and best wishes to you on this health journey. Together, you guys, we can do it. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon.